How big is my roof? Your contractor just told you your 2,000 square foot house needs 2,800 square feet of roofing material. And right now you're thinking they're trying to rip you off. Why your house doesn't have a 2,000 square foot roof is about to make a whole lot more sense. I've been installing roofs in New Jersey for over 2 decades, and the number one source of confusion I see with homeowners is this disconnect between their home's square footage and what their roof actually measures. Getting this wrong doesn't just mean you pay too much. It means you run out of materials halfway through the job, or you end up with a contractor who underbids and cuts corners to make up the difference. So here are the 3 factors that explain why your roof is bigger than your house, and what that means when you're comparing quotes. Roof pitch is a multiplier, not a detail. The steeper your roof, the more material you need. And most homeowners have no idea the roof pitch is multiplying their square footage by 20 to 40%. Think of it like wrapping a present. If you're wrapping a flat box, you use less paper than if you're wrapping the same box standing on its end at an angle. Your roof works the same way. A 2,000 square foot home with a low slope roof might measure 2,100 square feet of actual roof surface. That same 2,000 square foot home with a steep pitch, common in New Jersey colonial or Cape style homes, can measure 2,400 to 2,800 square feet or more. Pitch is measured as a ratio. Rise over run. A 6/12 pitch means for every 12 inches horizontally, the roof rises 6 inches vertically. The steeper the angle, the more surface area you're covering. This is why a quote that seems high compared to your neighbor's might actually be accurate. Your neighbor might have a ranch with a 4/12 pitch. You might have a 2-story colonial with an 8/12 pitch. Same square footage, completely different roof. When contractors skip measuring pitch or just eyeball it, they underestimate material needs. That error doesn't disappear. It shows up as a change order mid-project, or worse, as a crew scrambling to stretch materials and leaving gaps in coverage. Pitch also affects labor. Steeper roofs are harder to work on, require more safety equipment, and take longer to install. A quote that doesn't account for pitch is a quote that's already broken. When you're comparing quotes, ask every contractor what pitch they measured for your roof. If they can't give you a number, that's a red flag. A professional assessment includes pitch calculation, and that number should appear somewhere in your estimate breakdown. If you want to verify it yourself, some satellite measurement tools will give you a rough pitch estimate for free. But the most accurate method is a contractor using a pitch gauge or digital measurement tool on site. Complexity adds hidden square footage. Every hip, valley, dormer, and roof section you add to your home increases your roof's surface area. And most homeowners don't realize how much more material those features can require. 2 identical 2,000 square foot homes. One has a straightforward gable roof with 2 flat planes meeting at a ridge, like an open book. The other has hips, valleys, a shed dormer over the garage, and a bay window bump out. The second roof has significantly more surface area because every angle, every intersection, every dormer adds material. Hips and valleys don't just look different, they require additional underlayment, flashing, and shingles cut to fit. Dormers introduce vertical walls that need to be shingled and flashed separately. Each section multiplies the complexity and the square footage. This is where cheap quotes fall apart. A contractor who gives you a flat price per square without accounting for complexity is either guessing or planning to cut corners when they realize they're underwater on the job. Complexity also affects installation time and skill level. Valleys need to be properly flashed to prevent leaks. Dormers need step flashing installed correctly, or water will find its way in. Walk around your house and count the roof sections. If you see more than 2 or 3 distinct planes, your roof is complex, and your quote should reflect that. Ask your contractor how they're accounting for valleys, hips, and dormers in their material calculation. A professional contractor will either use drone imaging, satellite measurement software, or physical measurements that map every section. If they're walking your property with just a tape measure and a notepad, they're missing data. Waste factor is built into every roof. Even after you calculate pitch and complexity, you still need extra material because cutting shingles around edges, valleys, and penetrations means a percentage of every bundle ends up in the dumpster. Think about tiling a kitchen floor. You don't buy exactly the square footage you need. You buy 10 to 15% extra because tiles break, cuts don't line up perfectly, and edges need to be trimmed. Roofing works the same way, but the waste factor changes based on how complicated your roof is. A simple gable roof might have a waste factor of 5 to 10%, while a highly complex roof could exceed 15 to 20%. Valleys require shingles to be cut at angles. Ridges and hips need ridge cap shingles. Edges, penetrations like vents and chimneys and starter strips all add to the material count. None of that material is wasted in the sense that it's unnecessary. It's just the reality of how roofing works. This is why a contractor who quotes you exactly 20 squares for a 2,000 square foot house is either inexperienced or planning to stretch materials too thin. Real-world installation requires a buffer, and skipping that buffer means your crew runs out of material partway through, delays the project, or starts piecing together mismatched shingles from whatever's left in the truck. Waste factor also protects you. If a bundle gets damaged or a section needs to be redone because of weather or an installation error, having extra material on site means the job keeps moving. When you're reviewing a quote, look for a line item or note about the waste factor. A professional estimate will include it, usually as a percentage or as extra squares added to the base calculation. If it's not there, ask.
How much extra material are you ordering to account for cuts and waste?
If the answer is vague, that's a warning sign. A good rule of thumb: if your roof is simple, expect 5 to 10% waste. If it's complex, with multiple valleys and dormers, expect 15 to 20%. Anything less, and you're likely to run into shortages. How roofers actually measure and why it matters. The difference between a contractor eyeballing a roof from the driveway and one using drone surveys or software analysis is the difference between a guess and a guarantee, and that difference shows up in your final bill. There are a few ways to measure a roof accurately. The old school method is physical measurement, getting up on the roof with a tape measure and mapping every section. That works, but it's time consuming and requires good weather. Satellite imaging tools like Eagle View or Hover use aerial photos to calculate roof area, pitch, and complexity from a computer. Drone surveys do the same thing, but with real-time footage and higher precision. What all these methods have in common is they capture the geometry of your roof, not just the footprint of your house. They account for pitch, valleys, hips, and sections that you can't see from the ground. A contractor who measures your roof properly is a contractor who's thinking about the entire project: material ordering, crew scheduling, waste management, and finish quality. A contractor who skips measurement is thinking about getting the job signed, and everything else is someone else's problem. This is also where you'll see the biggest pricing variance between quotes. If one contractor measures 22 square and another measures 28 square for the same roof, one of them is wrong. And if you pick the cheaper bid without understanding why it's cheaper, you're setting yourself up for a nightmare when the lower bidder realizes halfway through that they don't have enough material. Ask every contractor how they measured your roof. Did they use satellite imaging? Did they get on the roof? Did they use a drone? If the answer is, I've been doing this 20 years, I can tell by looking, walk away. Experience doesn't replace data. If you're comparing quotes and the square footage numbers are wildly different, ask for the measurement report. A professional contractor will have documentation, either a software report, photos, or a hand-drawn sketch with dimensions. If they can't produce that, their number is a guess. Why roofers talk in squares instead of square feet? This standardization exists because shingles, underlayment, and other materials are manufactured and sold in units designed to cover 100 square feet. A bundle of shingles typically covers 33.3 square feet, so 3 bundles makes 1 square. When a contractor says your roof is 24 square, they're saying you have 2,400 square feet of roof surface, which translates to 72 bundles of shingles before accounting for the waste factor. The square system also makes pricing transparent. If you're quoted $400 per square for materials and labor, and your roof is 24 square, you're looking at $9,600 before waste, underlayment, or any specialty work like flashing or ventilation. This is why comparing quotes based on total price alone is misleading. If one contractor quotes $12,000 for 24 square and another quotes $10,000 for 20 square, the second quote isn't necessarily cheaper, it's just measuring less roof. You need to compare the square count first, then the price per square. Understanding square counts also helps you catch inflated quotes. If your roof is 2,200 square feet and a contractor quotes you for 30 square or 3,000 square feet, either they're padding the number or they measured something you didn't. Ask them to break it down. When you're reviewing quotes, convert everything to price per square. Divide the total material and labor cost by the number of squares. That gives you an apples-to-apples comparison between contractors. If a contractor won't break down the square count, or if their square count seems off compared to other bids, ask for a clarification. A professional will walk you through the math. A shady contractor will get defensive. What accurate measurement actually protects you from. The reason this all matters isn't just about paying the right price. It's about avoiding the 3 catastrophic problems that happen when a contractor gets the measurement wrong. Problem 1, material shortages mid-project. I've seen jobs where a crew gets halfway through a roof and realizes they're short 5 square of shingles. Now you're waiting 3 days for material delivery while your roof sits exposed. If it rains during that window, you're dealing with possible warded damage inside your home that wasn't part of the original scope. Problem 2, rushed installation to stretch materials. When a contractor realizes they don't have enough shingles, they start cutting corners, literally. They'll skip out on nails, skip starter strips, or piece together scraps to finish edges. That roof might look fine for a year, but it's going to fail early because it wasn't installed to spec. Problem 3, change orders that blow your budget. A contractor who underestimated the job will hit you with change orders halfway through. We need another $3,000 for material that we didn't account for. Now you're stuck. You can't leave the job half finished, so you pay. But you're bitter about it, and the contractor knows it. The rest of the job is tense, and the quality suffers. All 3 of these problems trace back to one decision: hiring a contractor who didn't measure accurately at the start. The measurement isn't a formality. It's the foundation of the entire project. Everything else, material ordering, crew scheduling, pricing, timelines, depends on that number being right. This is also where homeowners' liability comes in. If you picked the cheapest bid knowing the square count seemed low and the job runs into problems, you own part of that decision. Informed homeowners protect themselves by asking the right questions before signing. Now, before you sign that contract, verify the square count with at least 2 other contractors. If all 3 are within a square or 2 of each other, you're looking at accurate data. If one is wildly different, dig deeper. Ask your contractor what happens if they run short on materials. Is that cost on them, or does it come back to you as a change order? A professional contractor builds a buffer into their estimate and absorbs minor variances. A fly-by-night contractor will pass every cost overrun to you. Protect your investment by working with contractors who measure properly, document their process, and stand behind their numbers. That's not about paying more, it's about paying for certainty. If you're wondering how to evaluate a roofing quote after watching this, then you need to see my video which breaks down the 5 red flags that show up in bad estimates. Things most homeowners miss until it's too late. Make sure you check that one out.